on Marcus Rashford and what he's had to say about him, this has been a great tournament for him. A player that has sort of dipped with his form last season in particular, and there would have been question marks over his inclusion in this squad, but like it seems to be with a few players that actually had sort of question marks over them, he's kind of fulfilling the potential now we expected them.
Yeah, without a doubt. And actually all of the players who I've asked about Marcus Rashford and you know, who he is as a person, what he brings to the pitch, have all said you can really tell he's loving his football again. And Marcus himself, when he was in front of the press conference the other day, said he still doesn't feel as if he's back to the old Marcus Rashford. And I don't think he ever will in some ways, because he's grown as a person and he's had so many experiences, you know, over the last couple of years, that obviously he's not going to be the same person. But certainly on the pitch, he's enjoying his football again, and you can really tell that. And he's got a confidence. You know, we were talking earlier about who starts and the players that can come on and make an impact from the substitutes bench and get it straight away. Well, he scored within 90 seconds of coming on in that first game. You know, that's the kind of confidence he's playing with. And I don't feel as if he's going out to prove a point in any way. He's going out to enjoy his football, express himself, and he's back in that frame of mind where, you know, he's loving playing football. And if you love playing football, I mean, me and Nat can't comment on this, Cass, this is for you, but how much of a difference does that make to a player when they're actually enjoying what they're doing and feeling as if they belong on the pitch? Yeah,
well, first of all, Marcus went through personal issues, injuries, and lost his place at Man United. And that filtered on to England. It became the same scenario. And he seems to have got out of that cycle now. Now it seems now he's fit. Now the personal issues he's hopefully overcome. And with that, he's got himself back in the Man United team. And that has enabled him to shine with England. He was nowhere near the squad 3 months ago. You know, before September, Marcus Rashford wasn't going to be chosen for this World Cup. Now he's got every obstacle he's got. And now he's got himself in a position where he could easily start tonight. So that says how he's completely reversed all that cycle. Now it's all positive instead of negative. So I think that's why Marcus has probably got a smile on his face. Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, when we were speaking to Gareth Southgate the other day and asking him, and I'd previously asked him when Marcus was out of the squad, you know, are you in dialogue with him? And he was one of the players that Gareth Southgate was constantly still speaking to. And when he was asked yesterday about it, Gareth said, that's not my place to say what I said to Marcus Rashford. You know, if Marcus wants to divulge that, then he will do. And, you know, I feel as if Marcus Rashford always felt as if he'd find his way back to England in some way. And he talked about the injuries and what they do. And when you get over one hump and then you get a setback and another one, and it just knocks you back down and down and down. And I've heard so many players over the years. Been there, done that. Yeah, absolutely. It's a horrible, you know, the one thing that you love to do, that you're good at, you can't do because you're going to as well at that period, because absolutely. You know, some people say we shouldn't put yourself up for selection. I remember I had 3 knee operations in 18 months, and I remember my knee kept swelling after games, but I could get myself in a position to play, but then I'd have a problem afterwards. But that's one thing I would say that's really noticeable. Me and Nat have been to games, you've been to games, Faye, is that the reception by the England fans at the game towards Harry Maguire has been brilliant. Huge. So all this, you know, around happening and people talking about Maguire, the reception from the England fans, they were just brilliant. But can I make a comment on that? Go on. They're the travelling England fans. They're the England fans that see Harry Maguire play consistently for England. And I think that's a really key point, because especially nowadays we tend to all get sucked into social media and see that as, you know, oh, that's what everybody thinks. But it's not what everybody thinks. And yes, in the past, he's been booed by England fans at home games because there are more England fans there that don't go necessarily, you know, and travel and see him frequently. I think the travelling England fans over here in particular very much don't see the point in booing. In booing the team, although we did hear some boos in the USA game, I must say that, but I think there's still a question mark over exactly where and who that was directed at. What I would say, I mean, I think the criticism was fair of Harry Maguire in the sense of he wasn't really playing much. I know he played a few games towards the end. He'd been dropped to club and country. Yeah, exactly. Or not country, so club. So we got the criticism. I can totally understand that. I think I was one of those thinking I don't necessarily think he should be included based on
the previous conversations with Gareth Southgate talking about form, but seeing him out here, he has been brilliant. He has just looked, at times it looks effortless for him, when he's carrying the ball out. You've seen him drive through the centre circle at times. So he's been a wonderful inclusion, actually, and a lot of us can eat humble pie over that.
Well, don't mind eating a humble pie, but there is games in front of you that people will say, I told you so, if it happened. So Harry will know that. Yes. He will know the pressure that he could be under if he plays in the knockout stages, which he's going to do, and if he makes a mistake or someone gets in behind him and he gets done for pace, people will say, well, that was always, there are going to be people say that was always going to happen.
Yeah, but this is always the thing, though, isn't it? And this is what Trent Alexander-Arnold was saying when he spoke to me the other day. There's always going to be a fall guy, essentially.
Yeah.
Everybody needs someone to blame, and you make one mistake and it gets highlighted, and everything good that you do gets completely ignored. And that's in any walk of life, actually, isn't it? One mistake absolutely nails you, whereas you could have done amazing stuff beforehand. But I think Harry Maguire is going to be really key in this game against Senegal in terms of set pieces, for sure, because his aerial presence, and I mentioned at the beginning of the chat about Senegal being susceptible to crosses, and they've conceded in every game to a cross, and I think that Harry Maguire could have a little bit of fun potentially.
See, I've said that to my son. I said, you can't blame everybody all the time. I said, I don't know where you get it from. I think you get it from your mother.
There you go.
Amazing.
Tony Cascarino inspired father talk there.
That was a dad joke.
Very much a dad joke. See what I have to put up on a regular basis. That's tough for me.
I feel for you now.